Welcome to Yoga for Health, Happiness and Liberation. Today I have a wonderful topic, how one can be happy. And before I start today's subject, I like to chant this, one of the oldest chants, which talks about the prayer and also says that may there be peace in our heart and in this world, because we need peace in the world and better life. So let me chant the mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmeva Bandhana Mrityar Mukshe Mamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmeva Bandhana Mrityar Mukshe Mamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmeva Bandhana Mrityar Mukshe Mamrita. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Shantu Naramaya Sarve Bhadrani Vashyantu Ma Kachitu Bhag Bhavit Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purna Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tassat. It says, may there be peace in your heart, peace in this world, and peace in all the human beings. So this is a prayer, and before any program in yoga, we chant this prayer. Today's topic is the Bhagavad Gita. Let me show you the book. This is the Bible for all the Hindus. And if Bible is wisdom of the West of all the centuries, so is Bhagavad Gita is the wisdom of all the centuries put together in this book. So this is a summary of Vedas, but actually this is the word of God. Lord Shri Krishna gives instruction to Arjuna on the battlefield. And it is very beautiful because it deals with the human problems. So if you really see, human beings feel empty and a lot of tension is there and there is confusion in the world. So to eliminate all these things and bring happiness and real goal of life, Bhagavad Gita teaches us a great deal. So today I just want to touch upon the basic ideas which will, I hope, help you in guiding your own life. The first message is Bhagavad Gita is that if you want to be happy, act without the fruit of action. Do the thing which you must do. Do it right. And don't worry about the results, because result is something which God decides what you should get. But your duty is to act which you think is the right Dharma. What is Dharma? Dharma means something you have to do, and you got to do. Now let's see the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which says this potency of Arjuna. Arjuna, and let me just give you a brief idea what happened in this story. Arjuna and his cousins Duryodhan and his family. The Duryodhan attacked with his army on this kingdom and burned down the villages and destructions and started marching towards where Arjuna was. So Arjuna was a soldier. His duty was to get up and fight and stop this cruelty and this injustice. But all his cousins, he loved them. And in his cousins' army, there were teachers. His own gurus were in that army. So what was the battle in his heart? One is feelings versus his duty. So there's the Bhagavad Gita starts. And that is a battle every day. Every person comes and face this problem. One side is the feeling, one side is the duty, and which direction one should go. And Bhagavad Gita says clearly, you must not bring the feelings, because that way you will be misguided. You must do your duty. You must do your Dharma. And that is the most important thing one has to do. Because you feeling, you like certain things. Like and dislike has no meaning if you want to do the right thing. And if you want to be happy, you have to do what you have to do. And that is the message of Bhagavad Gita. Now Arjuna was misguided, and he had a great feeling about his brothers, even though they were doing wrong. And what was his duty? His duty was to stop this cruelty, and his duty was to fight them. That was his duty. And Arjuna said, oh, I cannot do it now. So he really got depressed, and his hands started shaking. He had a bow and arrow in his hands and started shaking. And then he sat down. He said, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Every person in life, one time comes, oh gee, I'm confused. I do not know which direction to go. I'm empty. I'm frustrated. I'm tense. What can I do? Like many people get up in the morning and they don't want to come out of the bed. They just say, I cannot face this world anymore. It's the same position as Arjuna faced in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He said, oh my God, I cannot do these things. I have no courage. So that is the most important thing, to realize that yes, there is something one can do. And there Bhagavad Gita starts. First thing, Arjuna says to himself, oh, my friend Krishna. He did not know that Krishna is God. He said, oh, my friend Krishna. He knows a way out. He can help me. Now that's the first thing a person has to recognize. That there is somebody, somewhere, somehow he can be helped. But when you lose all this faith, and you have no faith, and you are completely depressed, and sit there, that is wrong thing to do. So first thing, a wise person recognize, I am stuck, I need help. Then seek. And what Jesus said, seek and you shall find. So Bhagavad Gita says, seek the Guru. Guru means light. Seek the light, and light will come to you, because you are seeking light. Now, if you are stuck somewhere, first thing you say, there must be somebody who can really help. Or there is a book like Bhagavad Gita or Bible. You say, I have faith in this thing. It will help me. And when you start reading, it will help you. Well, my father started reading Bhagavad Gita. He read every day. He reads every day. And at the age of 60, when he retired, he started memorizing one sloka every day. And now he has a whole Bhagavad Gita by heart. So he said, you should read this Bhagavad Gita. It will give you a lot of messages. It will help you greatly. So I read, and it didn't make much sense. Then somebody else said again. Then I started reading again. And it didn't make much sense again. But one day, one great Swami, he said to me, he said, when you read Bhagavad Gita, think it is the word of God. And then read, and you will find the real true meaning. So I started reading that way. And ever since, I found its meaning. You have to develop the faith in the book, in a person. So, who is a guru? Guru means a person who takes you from darkness to light. He is a person. That person is called a guru. So, Arjuna, first thing he said, oh, Krishna can really knows, he can help me. So, and when you seek the guru, when you seek the light, light comes. The guru shows up. The wisdom will come. That person will come to you. So seek that. And Arjuna first thing said, oh, let me go to Krishna. So he goes to Krishna. A very interesting story. When he went to Krishna, Krishna was sleeping. So early in the morning he went there. So Arjuna sat at his feet. At the same time, his cousin, Duryodhana, he also came to take the help of Krishna, because he was king of another kingdom. And he was also a relative. So Duryodhana sat at Krishna's head. There was chair near Krishna's head. He sat there. Arjuna sat at Krishna's feet. And now, when Krishna opened his eyes, he saw Arjuna first. Because when you wake up, you see the person who is at your feet, sitting there, not the one sitting at your head. So there is a message here that if you're really seeking God and wisdom, you have to really humble. And in India, feet is, when you reach to somebody's feet, you have reached your level of humbleness, very humble. You are humble. So when Krishna woke up and saw Arjuna sitting at his feet, he said, hey Arjuna, why have you come? He said, I need your help. He said, ask me. Whatever you want. He said, well, I need your help. Then he saw his Duryodhana sitting right there. He said, oh Duryodhana, what do you want? He said, I want your help too. He said, well, I asked Arjuna Arjuna. He has to ask me first. Arjuna says, Krishna, I want you to help me. Duryodhana says, I want your army to help me. Krishna says, you have one of the two things. You can have me or my army. What do you want? So Arjuna got Krishna and Duryodhana got Krishna's army. Now, see, material world, which is army, which Duryodhana received. And Arjuna got Krishna. And at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, the war was over. Who won the war? Arjuna. Even though he had only Krishna on his side and not Krishna's army, Arjuna wins, because whoever has God with him is going to win. Now, very important idea here in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is your mind, Krishna is your heart. If you really do whatever you do with the heart, mind work with the heart, you're going to succeed. So Krishna means self, bigger self, and Arjuna is the mind. And Duryodhana is portrayed here as a ego, one's ego, man's ego. So drop your ego and be like Arjuna and surrender to God. That's the message of Bhagavad Gita. Now see what happens then. When Arjuna selected Krishna to be his friend, and also now Krishna is going to help Arjuna in the battlefield. Okay. So Krishna asked Arjuna, he said, what should I do for you? Arjuna said, would you please drive my chariot? You see, actually in this case, Krishna, means God, becomes a guide to Arjuna. and takes Arjuna right in the middle of the army, and God takes you the right place. And you're going to win because you have God with you. So in this material world, in this life also, when you work with God as your chariot, God as your guide, you're going to succeed, you're going to win. Otherwise you're not going to win, because you will be misguided. So the message again is Bhagavad Gita says, make God as your chariot, and you're going to win. Now what one should do? One should do your Dharma. Accept your karma. Means whatever past lives, whatever is coming to you, you are thrown on this material world to burn your past karma and free yourself from this life and death. You see, there is a circle of life and death is constantly going on. And what is the objective of a human being? Is to come out from this circle of life and death and make oneself free. And how one can make oneself free? By surrendering to God, by knowing who you are, and also making this life a very important life, and making this life a more meaningful life instead of just spending all the time on pleasure. Some people waste this life, because here Bhagavad Gita says this life is very precious life, and we should not waste it. We should do the right thing through yoga. Yoga means uniting. Yoga means uniting. Yoga means uniting. So we must unite our little soul with the super soul, big soul. And that big soul is called Krishna, and little soul is called Jiva. The Jiva trying to meet the bigger soul. And the objective of life is to attain happiness through surrendering to God, to constantly remembering the God. So this is the message of Bhagavad Gita. If you get a chance, you can get a copy of Bhagavad Gita. There are pocket books are available, and read that, and you will find a great deal of wisdom. It will give you a lot of clues how one should act, how one can help others and help oneself. And it has many different ideas presented in a very simple language. The Vedas, the Old Testaments of India, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita is the summary of all these Old Testaments, Upanishads, Vedas, and other great books of India. So the book which I have is written by Swami Shivananda Saraswati. He is our Guru's Guru, who has written excellent commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. This book has been commented by many great souls, and each one present the ideas in a different ways. Bhagavad Gita is very important book, and if you will study, it will help you a great deal. First, Mahabharata is the original book which Bhagavad Gita is part of it. And if you want to study the Bhagavad Gita, first you have to read the story. And it is very fascinating story which explains who is Arjuna and Duryodhana and other people, and it is excellent. Now, if you have any question regarding the this Bhagavad Gita, please give us a call. So many people ask this question: How about the yoga? Yoga and Bhagavad Gita. Now, yoga is a technique to reach God. So, yoga is not a religion, but a discipline which a person from any religion can practice. Yoga. Bhagavad Gita is a spiritual book, and it is transcendental. Anyone can read. There is nothing which says contradictory to any other religion. Like Bible, there are a lot of wonderful things are written in Bible, and people of any religion can read and study and benefit. Similar way, Bhagavad Gita is also a very important book in the world. If you have not read it, please get one copy and read, and I'm sure you will enjoy a great deal. I have started studying Bhagavad Gita, and I enjoy a great deal and learn about it, and it has in my life, and I'm sure those who read benefit a great deal. And also, if you can get a copy of Bhagavad Gita written by Swami Shivananda, his commentary is excellent. And I'm glad you heard some discourse on Bhagavad Gita and think about it. Thank you again for joining us today. Hari Om.